I'm Richard Holcomb.
I'm Amy Holcomb. We're at Kinmar Marra. We've been here 3 years.
Grazing land management practices that we've started since being here is the time control grazing, where plan, monitor and manage is the big first step. To monitor our pastures, there are a few ways that we do it. The visual check is just me in the paddock, having an idea of the amount of grass, what that will give us in terms of stock days left in the paddock. One method that you can use is the quadrant. Reasonably randomly select an area in the paddock, take a sample of the grass that's there with a set of shears, take it home, dry it out, weigh it, see exactly how much dry matter is available. Land condition is incorporated into our monitoring through giving a condition score or rating paddocks relative to other paddocks in terms of quality and quantity pasture that's there. That helps us identify how long we can spend in each paddock. We're always trying to match our stocking rate to our carrying capacity. We use a grazing chart to budget our feed. The number of animals is converted to the number of stock units, which gives an indication of their feed requirement and their average daily gain. So we can budget to what their requirement is, and it's easy to look in the paddock with our monitoring. And if we think we're coming up short, well, every month when we sell, or 6 weeks when we sell out, it has to be a bigger cut than it otherwise would have.
We do our forage budget at the end of every growing season. That'll tell us how much feed we've got available to us for the rest of the winter, our dry season. Because we had a drier summer, we were able to look at the number of stock we had on at that point in time. We're able then to sell off a higher number of cattle at that time because we didn't have the amount of feed to carry through that stock that we had on hand. So we're able to decrease our stock numbers so that we're not overgrazing the country.
It's probably not so much a matter of how much residual pasture is left behind us, making sure that there's enough in front of us. We might only take an inch or two off the top of the grass, so that during summer we're constantly accumulating feed so that we can get through that non-growing season without running out. By doing that, we're keeping our cattle on a higher plane of nutrition because they're only ever getting the absolute best off the grass. And since we've been here, we've started to move cattle around. I suppose at any one time, most of the place is resting. We control the grazing period to the rotation about 30 days in summer, 90 days in winter. When the cattle are moved out of a paddock, that paddock's pretty well left alone. There's really no maintenance to the actual land itself. We just let it regrow, do its thing. So there's the benefits of spelling pasture that we've seen in the time we've been here, and so far we've seen an increase in the diversity in species of grasses. There's a lot higher ground cover. We've got a lot of small trees starting to come back and stabilise eroded areas. The cattle are probably healthier now than when we started. We're looking at photos the other day of when we first got here to what it is now. I do think in the short time we've been here and applying the principles as well as we've been able to, we can certainly see an improvement in our land. We can see the cattle are nice and shiny and healthy. We want the place to be better than when we got here. We want to sustainably produce top quality beef. I guess we want to make an industry that is going to attract our kids' generation back to it.
I believe it'll take us closer to our goal. Doing things this way seems to be heading that way now.